everyone, and welcome back to another empowering episode of Trauma Talk Tuesday. I'm Juanita Gaynor. I'm your guide through candid conversations about healing and growth. If you're new here, consider subscribing and joining our community. Each Tuesday, we deep dive into the stories of resilience, triumph, and the journey towards healing from trauma. Before we jump into today's discussion, make sure you hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. And if you find value in our talks, give us a thumbs up. It really helps our community grow. So grab your favorite cozy drink, settle in, and let us embark on another journey of healing together. This is Trauma Talk Tuesday. Hello, everyone. Trauma Talk Tuesday here. Let's think about it. This is the last Tuesday for Black History Month. And when I tell you, it's just been an amazing time to come through and just talk about, what trauma has done, and especially through the lens of Black history. So I was so grateful that I was able to do that. But for a topic today, it's going to be something that we all can work with and we all can do. I think so many times we forget about how community plays into that. Like, I think we forget that, we feel like we don't grow up with the people and we don't have, things like that. So we don't understand that we can kind of create our own community. So today we're going to be discussing, what does community look like in the healing process? And again, I think that's something that we take kind of lightly. We don't, because we feel like once we've, went through our healing process, or as we're going through the healing process and cutting out people who have hurt us, who have misaligned us, we kind of look around and be like, well, I don't have any family because I've had to cut them out. Or I really didn't have any friends because I was going through all of this. And a lot of the times we have to begin to build our own community, our own network of people that we can trust and that we can, walk through the journey together with. And it's not saying that, we should be remiss from having this, but, the community plays a really great role in healing. So let's really first talk about the power of support. When we face new challenges, having a community to lean on can provide a sense of comfort and security, whether it's friends or family or support group, knowing that you're not alone is incredibly empowering, because research has shown that individuals who have a strong social support networks tend to have better outcomes in their healing journey. And it's just not about receiving the practical help, but it's also feeling understood and validated by those around us. See, healing is not just about like physical recovery. It's about your emotional and psychological well-being. And that is the sense of community. It offers that, point of healing and things. And you may say, well, may not necessarily have that. I've cut off family members because of, abuse. I've went no contact. I've had to disassociate with some friends, or we've grown apart as I went through my healing journey. They no longer fit into the overall dynamic of what my healing is. And that is where support groups come into play. That is where networking and getting out there and talking to others and realizing that you're not alone in your storytelling. Even what I'm doing now. Now, a lot of people, it's going to take some, moment to get up to this point, But even sharing your story and having, responding to comments and people reaching out to you, you begin to realize that you're not alone in your, struggle. You just experienced it a different way, but everyone is going towards the same process and the same goals. So that's why sometimes what it says, the family isn't always what you was born to. Family is who you connected to as well. You know, when I was going through a tough time, it was the understanding and empathy of my community that helped me heal. And I'm gonna be honest, that community was very small in the beginning, because I needed to be safe in knowing that I could share my feelings without being judged and looked down upon. So that made a difference. But again, like I literally can count on one hand. See these fingers? One hand, those people in that community. Now, it's expanded to two hands. It expanded to two hands. But those people have been intricate that I can cry to and I can ask for help, and it grows. So if you got one or two people that fit that category, that's your community right there. Don't feel bad that you don't have 10, 15. I feel that that's just too many sometimes, especially in your initial healing. We spend so much time trying to heal and working on that, trying to also foster additional relationships is can be stressful and can stunt the healing process. So if you have one or two good, what I call ace boon coons that you can rock out with, do that. And don't feel bad that it's not 50. That's too many. If you say you have 30 people in your community that you can completely trust and count on or whatever, that's spreading yourself too thin. It's too much. My opinion. My opinion. So like I said, I had 5, that's a start, and I got about, a good 10, maybe less than that, but a good number of people that if I called, I could depend on them. If I asked them something, I could depend on them to be honest. And not only honest, but be cautious, empathetic, and caring with my feelings when they deliver any type of advice or suggestions to me. Like, they don't just say stuff to say it and just because, like, well, I'm just being real. They take into account who you are, what your struggle has been, what you've been through, and they know and understand the way to deliver information to you that uplifts you and not makes you feel worse. So also remember that within your community group as well. I want to say, let's talk about some resilience. Resilience. Resilience is just, an overlying theme when it comes to healing in any given thing. You got to have an empathetic and an understanding community. But resilience is that, the communities, community is going to help you bounce back. It was this song I remember, and I cannot remember who the artist was, and it's a gospel song, and it's called I Bounce Back. And community will help you bounce back. They're that, landing spot for when you fall. You don't fall, you don't do those hard falls. They allows you to hit and come back up. They're giving you encouragement, they're motivating you, they're providing the resources. They can empower you to overcome obstacles and to thrive. Like, here's for me, like when it comes to resources, I am a chronic overthinker. It just is my mindset, my introvert nature, my ADHD nature. I'm going to overthink and procrastinate every single aspect. However, I have people in my community and my network that be like, you thinking too much about that. You're putting too much into that. Like, why are you, and they don't say it like I may sound harsh saying it right now, That's not how they say it sound. They're saying it, or it sounds to me. They're real ginger with it. They're like, have you thought about how much additional time this is going to take you? Have you thought about how this is going to pull you in many directions? I understand you may want to do this, but is it worth it? Do you have the time? Again, my babe, and that's who I'll be. He'll be my babe. My babe. The first thing he'll ask is, so how much time is this going to take? Can you do it with the schedule you currently have? Is this something that is going to be, eventually produced financially, or are you giving the services away? And if you're giving these away, how is it going to benefit you down the long term, in the long term? And I am very grateful, for that, because sometimes I will just go gung-ho into something and I don't always think about, all the things and the components that come with it, especially when I want to serve or help people. So because there's business me, and then there's community activist servant me. And sometimes community activist service me, don't think about the business aspect of all of that, like the finances of all of that. It's just like you see somebody hurting or you see somebody struggling, and I just want to help because I have the knowledge and, wherewithal. And what he will do is he'll be like, okay, let's think this through. Like, how is it going to pull you away from what you already have? How is it going to benefit you in the long run? Like, is this a long game or is this a short game? Is this, introducing you to new people that you can help, but also take your brand to the next step? Is this going to affect where you are at emotionally? He is not for anything that's going to mess me up emotionally. If it is going to stress me, he's not for it. And we need those type of people in our community, because sometimes for us who are healing from trauma and abuse and neglect, we are people pleasers because, through our traumatic experiences, we thought that if we were just better, if we just did these things, life would be better. We could move on. We would be able to do all of the things that we were able to do if we were just, this better person. And so you need people in your community who is going to uplift you, but also make sure that you're not taken advantage of. So community is key. Community is necessity. Like I said, community can be two people. It can be just two people. It can be just one person to start. What you need is someone who is going to be there to uplift you and to hold you accountable. I'm going to say that again. And to hold you accountable. Just because you're in your healing process doesn't mean you lack accountability. Doesn't mean you can just do anything and everything. And you need somebody who's going to be willing to hold you accountable. Because if you don't have somebody to do that, you just have an enabler. And that's not a good person to have within your community, especially when you're healing, especially when you're growing. So take a look at the people around you. You may have to cut some people out. You may have, 10 good, so you may have 10 associates, but only 2 of them are some friends, some people that you can count on in a clutch. And you have to learn how to categorize people accordingly. And it's not, being mean, and it's not being hurtful. It's not being any of those things. It is being protective of you. Protective of you. So if you don't have someone that is going to uplift you, if you don't have someone that is going to be a soft landing space for you to fall and bounce back up, if you don't have someone that's going to hold you accountable, you don't have someone that is going to cherish your feelings and know how to talk to you and support you, then you don't need them in your community. Just know that community is necessary. necessary. You know, when I think about resilience, I want you to understand that it's just not an individual trait. Resilience, it's cultivated through our interactions with others. And that's what our communities do. They foster a culture of resilience to provide a strong foundation for healing and growth. You know, so I want to encourage each and every one of you to build out your own support network. Whether it's joining a community group, volunteering, or simply connecting with friends and family, building strong relationships is essential to our well-being. And second, let's all strive to be more empathetic and understanding towards others. Small acts of kindness and compassion have a ripple effect in creating a more supportive and caring community for everyone. And so I want to thank you for joining me on this journey into the healing power of community. Remember, we're strong together. Remember, we are strong together. I want you to understand that. We're strong together, and we will see you next time, next Tuesday on Trauma Talk Tuesday. Have a great one. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Trauma Talk Tuesday. If you resonated with today's session, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful conversations on healing and growth. Click the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell to never miss an episode. We love hearing from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, or any topics you'd like us to cover in the comments below. Your voice matters. This is a community, and we're here to support you. And again, thank you for being a part of Trauma Talk Tuesdays, family. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. And until next Tuesday, take care of yourself and each other.